Well, depending on what calendar you glance at today, it's either the federal holiday Columbus Day, a day to honor Christopher Columbus for discovering the New World, or it's Indigenous Peoples Day, which is how it is known in Idaho, at least since 2019, when Governor Brad Little signed a proclamation declaring the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples Day. It's a day to recognize this world wasn't new to the estimated 60 million to 100 million people already living here at the time Columbus thought he had found India. And I know calling Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day is a bit difficult for some. But it's not like we haven't changed the names of holidays over the years. Is it Washington's birthday or is it President's Day? Is it Decoration Day or is it Memorial Day? Is it Armistice Day or is it Veterans Day? All of those changes have happened over the years. Indigenous Peoples Day is supposed to spark a conversation about the truth of history, the full truth of Indigenous people in America and in Idaho. And just so you know, there are 5 federally recognized tribes located within the state of Idaho. There's the Shoshone-Bannock tribe, once covered all of southern and eastern Idaho. It's now confined to the Fort Hall Reservation in Bannock County. The Shoshone-Paiute, which is a sliver, once a sliver of southwestern Idaho, now shares the Duck Valley Reservation with Nevada. The Coeur d'Alene tribe and the Panhandle, and the namesake of their reservation. The Kootenai tribe and the Kootenai Reservation, that's way up north by Bonners Ferry. And the Nez Perce, once covering 3 states, now just the Nez Perce Reservation in Lapwai. So those tribes once occupied the entire northwest of the United States, from the Great Basin to the coast. But as the Oneida Nation stand-up comedian Charlie Hill famously said, they had a little real estate problem. And speaking of Indigenous people in the media, Joe Paris spoke with Daniel Spalding, a radio broadcaster and member of the Nez Perce tribe. Spalding is set to deliver the keynote speech tonight at the University of Idaho to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day.
Broadcasting from the heart of the Nimiipuu Nation on KIYE 88.7 FM Kamai.
This is Daniel Spalding, one of the voices of KIYE Radio, owned and operated by the Nez Perce tribe.
I believe we're the only tribal station out of Idaho, so we're pretty unique.
In recent years, Spalding has found incredible community support of his broadcast from the studio in Kamai, Idaho. Broadcasts are popular across the reservation and far into the Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest.
The little saying for the radio KIYE is the voice of the Nimiipuu. And so people have kind of coined that name on me because I'm doing a lot of the PSAs and a lot of the different announcements.
That responsibility is a privilege, Spalding says, and something he is passionate about. He works hard to draw attention to Indigenous people and their representation in media.
When it comes to media, especially in the area that I'm in, a lot of times our people in Indigenous people are not always painted in the right light. So sometimes there's a lot of untruthful, I guess, paintings of us. And so being able to be on our own radio station and highlight our own stories and be in control of our own narrative, it's something that I don't take lightly, and it's very important to me.
The federal holiday Columbus Day is recognized nationwide, and in Idaho, the day is also recognized as Indigenous People Day, a day that is supposed to recognize the truth of Native American history, stories and tales that are often whitewashed, forgotten, or ignored.
For me, days like today are important because you're acknowledging the truth in the history, and a lot of times, the truth is not always put in history books. They're not just, these stories like Pocahontas or Indian in the Cupboard, these kind of cheesy movies that aren't truthful. So for me, it's what I've made very kind of almost my mission is just to highlight positive representation in media.
Spalding says recent efforts to change that are clear and impactful.
New TV shows finally, like there's Rutherford Falls on the streaming service Peacock, and then we have Reservation Dogs, which is on Hulu, and there's even Dark Wind. I mean, this year we're finally seeing a lot of representation in media that it's positive, and it's in a way where we're not just this thing of the past. Growing up, I didn't see a lot of representation in anything for me. So now being an adult and seeing it, it gives me a huge sense of pride, and also it makes me feel good knowing that my nieces and nephews now can grow up and see themselves in media in a positive way, whereas my siblings and I, or my cousins, we all didn't have that.
The message to Indigenous people, especially young ones, is important, Spalding says. It's a message many generations missed. something people like Spalding are now trying to change.
Wow, these kids come from similar backgrounds, similar upbringings, and if they can do it, then I can do it too.
So coming up in less than an hour, Spalding's going to deliver the keynote speech to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day at the University of Idaho's Bruce Pittman Center. It's at the Vandal Ballroom. 6 p.m. local time if you're up there, if you're looking to hear more from Spalding, some great insight. And he also says he'll be doing some question and answers after his presentation. Spalding is also the host of the show The Conversation on KIYE 88.7. And he recently interviewed Deb Haaland, who's the United States Secretary of the Interior. And Haaland is the first Native American to serve as a cabinet secretary in our country's history. I was just listening to a portion of the interview this afternoon, Brian, and some great work that Daniel and his coworkers are doing up there. But it also gives a window into a world that I think many people, especially down in the valley, probably don't even think about beyond a day like Indigenous Peoples Day. So it's a great day today to elaborate on that and remember who's part of our community.
Does Daniel broadcast in the Nimipu language as well?
He does, and if you check out the link we'll include in this story at KTVB.com, you can listen to that, and it's cool to listen to him go between the native tongue and English. And I mean, again, it's a skill set and it's a window into a world that we don't see a lot of.
Especially when some of these languages are getting lost. And that's great that he can kind of, help keep that going, which is amazing.
It's got to be amazing, especially for older members, of the tribe to hear that over the radio in 2022, the native tongue. And again, as you mentioned, it is a language that is unfortunately going away. So stuff like what Daniel's doing is really important.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe.